Shona La Phadraig. Happy Patrick's Day. It's a nice clear blue sky, bright sun. Bit cold out there, but nice warmth from the sun. So I do one or two songs for Patrick's Day since they've cancelled all the festivities over here. So I'm going to do it with a kind of taste of some of the old songs that people will know and won't know. So starting off with Oro Shidava Hawalia. It's about Grace O'Malley, the Pirate Queen, and her warriors. It's in Irish, but most people just know the chorus anyway. So. Oro Shidava Hawalia, Oro Shidava Hawalia, Oro Shidava Hawalia. Nisher Haktan Taurig, Shidava Velan, Dauger Breakaway, and even though the sail of my love, Stakirta Lashnaga, Oro Shidava Hawalia, Oro Shidava Hawalia, Oro Shidava Hawalia, Nisher Haktan Taurig, Granium Whale, Doctor Sadia, Leganta Lemargard, Bailey Fennis, Nagan, Max Bunny, Perfect Shade Roy Gergal, Oro Shidava Hawalia, Oro Shidava Hawalia, Oro Shidava Hawalia, Nisher Haktan Taurig, Wheelina Biakova, Norwin Bjorn, Shaktan Granium Whale, Agus Whale Gesha, Nick Fogel Trainer Gal, Oro Shidava Hawalia, Oro Shidava Hawalia, Oro Shidava Hawalia, Nisher Haktan Taurig. And next one is a ballad. And it's for Aaron Níos Fan Cehi. So it goes like this, 10 whistling. Areris me Vernon, Erahevela, and Torah Shahias, the Hebnegin Sperbanem Kor, Dr. Monarch, Rocha Lactin. Lehen ganda menesta klar, davre trasta violtani ben, dolemas fahen dolnatrio, iserem ninias fan kehi. Last night in strange fields as I roamed, Such a vision I passed on my way, a young woman so fair to behold, that in seconds my heart was astray. Oh, she reached out a welcoming hand, but I knew that it could never be. And before I could kiss her sweet lips, she had vanished forever from me. Oh, I climb all the hills of this land, and I'd swim all the depths of the sea to get one kiss from her lily white hand. Yes, her Erin, Ines van Kay. Oh, but when I will call her my own, and 'tis married we both then will be, like the king and the queen on the throne, we'll be living in sweet harmony. A rare is me tear never known, a hevela in Torah shohias, the hevnig spare one in core, Dr. Manak Bridget. Le hengan da main is the clo, da Bridget of your tiny ben. Dolemas fahin dolna trio, is Erin in yes fan kei. Someone wants me from it. So I'm back. An Gaelga. Is Misha an Gaelga. I am Irish. Is Misha Dutchanga. I am your language. Is Misha da culture. I am your culture. Dúshigna filime. The poets use me. Dúshigna hushla. The nobles use me. Dúshigna dina me. The people use me. Is Dúshigna lani. And the children use me. Govroda lavishiad. Proud they were. Agus Misha fuirain. And I flourished. A canig an strandsure. But the stranger came. Quer she fui cush me. He suppressed me. Is rud navesa. Nina bavesa. Something worse than that was. Near ma le maclan me. My own people rejected me. Anish time lag. Now I am weak. Anish time tre. Now I am feeble. Ach fos time live. But still I'm with you. It's veg megobio. And I will be forever. Tog suas maciam, raise up my head. Quar áhas my crí, put joy in my heart. Labrigime, speak me. Oh, Labrigime, oh, speak. And this is a lovely little Irish song called Verme O. It's about a poet who falls in love with a woman years ago. And unfortunately, things go astray and he loses track of her. And he can't sing and he can't play music and all those things that are worthwhile to him. And he keeps wandering Ireland and the world looking for her, but can't find her. But at last he gets the inspiration for this song. And this is Vermeo. Vermeo arovano, Vermeo arovani, Vermeo aro, smetavonax tuendi. Sima eha flocus for, of me cortes melum fein, Nogoranig me sanat, Mararev grogial mokri. Vermeo arovano, Vermeo arovani, Vermeo aro, smetavonax tuendi. Imo klarsak nirevkyo, Imo vora nirevgri, Nogorlui to the wrong, for me olas armadan. Vermeo arovano, Vermeo arovani, Vermeo aro, stame lunax tuendi. Called the Cooling. An vakatu an Cooling, Sheik Shoek Nabora, Majengya, Ruktagan Smotara Byoga, Yasiami Ogan Aksubas, Utlan Posta. Akni feigen Shimron Sarangontas, Esterilo an vacatum osviran abraesina hena acutresana coslana chiasle Miller Ogilvan is Rasana Edom. Yes. Very old song called Shula Room, or a very old idea for the song of Shula Room anyway. In 1691, we had a siege of Limerick, um, which we didn't win. No big surprise there when you're dealing with huge forces from other countries invading. Before 1640, 50% of Ireland was owned by the Irish. By 1690, 16% of the land
left in the Irish Catholics' hands. And after 1691, when the treaty was broken, there was only 5% of the land left in the Irish Catholics' hands. So the Irish people had no say, and there were things like poinings laws and a whole host of other nice penal laws which are added to it that basically turned Irish people into serfs, and they had little or no rights. You see, these wars when Cromwell came over here and when um, William of Orange came over here, what it basically did was the soldiers that came over fighting for him were given land over here, and the Irish people were kicked off of their land and left to starve, no doubt, amongst other things. After the famine, before the famine, over 80% of the population spoke Irish, and presently, well, that goes down on a regular basis. There was an old saying that Irish will butter no bread, so speaking Irish won't feed you. You have to learn English. And we have about 20 million Irish passports worldwide. People get to claim Irish passports worldwide. And huge colonies of Irish people abroad, living in different countries and marrying with the locals. So if I see an African walking down the street here, well, he might have some Irish blood in him. Or if I see a person from Argentina or America, they might have some Irish blood. I'm just lucky that I was actually born here. My family were able to survive here. A lot of people had to leave. A lot of people are drawn back to Ireland at the moment because, well, they just love the place, love the feel. Unfortunately, it's also dragging back more people who want to take stuff, the vulture fund people. So this is a song I wrote about Limerick, and my feelings about Limerick. Hope you enjoy it. It's called Limnock Abu. Limnock Abu is the actual battle cry of the Limerick people. Queenigi ar Limnock agus Fialna Sasnak. It's another battle cry which goes, remember Limerick and Saxon treachery. In other words, that they broke the actual treaty. So
Runakabu, Sermakmain, Cairde Sagat. We'll have our day, Mulgrasto, Runakabu, Mulgra. The heron, we're fighting for you. Session a heron with its thread of the hand. To a heron, our time has come. Mulgrasto, Runakabu, Mulgra. The heron, we're fighting for you. Lennox fought Vikings, Normans and Tudors, Cromwell, King Billy and British intruders. We flew the red flag in 1919 for liberty, fair wage and Connolly's dream. People were there at the birth of the nation, the warriors fought for its creation. Love, laudable, Serenade, Cairde Sagat, fight well today. Kaboo, Serenade, not Cairde Sagat. Oh, we'll have our day. Mulgraw Stone, not Kaboo, Mulgraw the heron, we're fighting for you. Session a heron with the tread of the hand. To a heron, our time has come. Mulgraw Stone, not Kaboo, Mulgraw the heron, we're fighting for you. Mulgraw Stone, not Kaboo, Mulgraw the heron, we're fighting for you. Our cities were versed in the arts of war. Warrior people will go far. Limerick survived its battles and wars. It's loved by its people and known by its scars. 1690 is well gone, but the memory carries on. We fight for our people and battle all wrong. It's Cern and this is our song. Limerick, Cern, Cairde Sagat. We'll have our day, Mulgraw Stone, Limerick, Mulgraw the heron, we're fighting for you. Mulgraw Stone, Limerick, Mulgraw the heron, we're fighting for you. Switch back to something a little bit slower. From where I have, we've got a couple of local songs. One of the ones that I grew up with was this one. We'll often sing this at a charity event or sporting event. Fairies are we, our title is our glory, fearless and bold, whatever the dangers be, onward we go, to fight for death or glory. Fairies are we, the blue and white forever, Santa Claus, Santa Claus. Once the bridge between the whole of us, we are as happy as can be, and we are the boys from the island field. Society grows great when old people plant trees for shade that they will never rest under. Half these songs have been just passed down to us by our ancestors, and they're great for connection and just bringing back memories of the good people that we meet, along our journey. This is a Shula Room. Actually, Planet did it at one stage, a long time ago. But after 1690, when they broke the treaty, the families were not allowed to follow the wild geese, as they called them, which were the actual soldiers that left with Patrick Sarsfield to go fighting abroad. So the families were left here and their lands were taken off of them. And like I said, the penal laws, all those other things that were going on around here. During that war, the English lost half its forces over here, as far as I remember. So it wasn't as easy. And it was an international war. It was being fought on the continent. William of Orange just wanted to get the Irish one finished with, and by getting it finished, then he could go back to fighting against, I think it was King Louis in France. So Patrick's Day was celebrated by the actual Irish soldiers that were abroad in 1776 fighting with Washington. He gave them the day off on Patrick's Day. There's an actual letter, I think, in the Irish archives now that with Washington's hand giving the Irish people the day off, but they weren't supposed to get drunk because they were supposed to be fighting the next day or something. So this is Shula Na Room, and it's about a woman. You'll get the feel of it when you get it. I wish I was on yonder hill. 'Tis there I'd sit and cry my fill, till every tear would run a mill. Is go Jay to Mavourneen's long. Shul, 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 shul go soccer aga shul go kyun. Shul go doras aga saile glum. Is go Jay to Mavourneen's long. I'll sell my rock, I'll sell my reel. I'll sell my only spinning wheel to buy my love a sword of steel. Is go Jay to Mavourneen's long. Shul, 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 room. Shul go soccer, aga shul go coon. Shul go doras aga saile glum. Is go Jay to Mavourneen's long. I'll dye my petticoats, I'll dye them red, and around the world I'll beg for bread, until my parents shall wish me dead. Is go Jay to Mavourneen's long. Shul, 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 shul go soccer aga shul go clun. Shul go doras aga saile glum. Is go Jay to Mavourneen's long. I wish in vain. I wish I had my heart again, and vainly think I'd not complain. Is go Jay to Mavourneen's long. Shul, 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 room. Shul go soccer aga shul go kyun. Shul go doras aga saile glum. Is go Jay to Mavourneen's long. But now my love has gone to France to try his fortune to advance. If he e'er comes back, 'tis but a chance. Is go Jay to Mavourneen's long. Shul, 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 room. Shul go soccer aga shul go kyun. Shul go doras aga saile glum. Escoge to morning's love. Escoge to morning's love. I've been loving you a long time, down all the years and all the days, and I've cried for all your troubles, smiled at your funny little ways. We watched our friends grow up together, and we saw them as they fell. Some of them fell into heaven, some of them fell into hell. I took shelter from a shower, and I stepped into your arms. On a rainy night in Soho, the wind was whistling all its charms. I sang you all my sorrows. You told me all your joys. Whatever happened to that old song? To all those little girls and boys. Sometimes I'll wake up in the morning, the ginger lady by my side, covered in a cloak of silence. I hear you talking in my head. I'm not singing for the future. I'm not dreaming of the past. I am not talking about the first time. I never think about the last. Now the song is nearly over. We may never find out what it means. There's still a light I hold before me. You are the measure of my dreams, measure of my dreams. This one's from the opposite side of the world. We had enough Irish people being sent off to various places after the famine. There was 100,000 families were picked up off the roads for vagrancy after the famine when they were all kicked out of their houses for not being able to pay the rent. And that 100,000 families, which could have been a million people, were actually sent off to places like Australia, California, Canada, Nova Scotia, places like that, which are under British Dominion, and New Zealand, obviously. So this is a World War One song, my take on it, because it's also a religious song over here, Wirrawah, she's a mother of God song, Mary, kind of. But this is called Poca Are Care Anna. Dark and troubled are the waters down by me. Yet when you come across them, how peaceful they will be. Oh, my sweet love, return again to me, for I am near to that love, for lack of love of thee. I've sent you my love letter, I have sent to you my ring, so your people can see. To me you mean everything. Oh, my sweet love, return again to me, for I am near to death, love, for lack of love of thee. Oh, my pen is shattered, no more paper do I have, but my love for you, love, is the best thing that I have. Oh, my sweet love, return again to me, for I am near to death, love, for lack of love of thee. Oh, my sweet love, return again to me, and I am near to death, love, for lack of love of thee. Been a constant theme of immigration in Irish history, and this one is a song called "The Leaving of Limerick." Um, as I roved out one evening down by the assembly mount, I heard two lovers speaking as me and my love passed on, and the words that passed between them, it was but very few. It's not the leaving of Limerick that grieves me, but my darling, leaving you. In the morning when I am going, I will take you by the lily white hand, and I'll wave it o'er my shoulder, saying adieu to the Limerick strand. So farewell to the boys of Thomond Gate, it's to them I'll bid adieu. It's not the leaving of Limerick that grieves me, but my darling, leaving you. But now that we must be parted, I know you will understand why I must go broken hearted, far away from my native land. Though my fond love, I must leave you. You know my heart is true. It's not the leaving of Limerick that grieves me, but my darling, leaving you. It's not the leaving of Limerick that grieves me, but my darling, leaving you. And here's another old one. How could I live on the top of a with no money for in my pocket and no gold for the counting. For I would let the money go, all for to please her fancy, and I will marry no one but my own dear blue-eyed Nancy. She's my bonny blue-eyed lassie, with an air so sweet and tender, walk like swan on water, and her waist so small and tender. Her golden hair in ringlets fell all o'er her snow-white shoulder, and I'll ask her for to marry me, for there's no one could be bolder. Now there's some people say she is very low in station, and there's more people say she'll be the cause of my ruination. But let them all say what they will, to her I will prove constant still, till the day that I die. She'll be my own lovely lady. Ah, who lightly skims the swallow o'er the dark waters of Ochil, and sweetly sings the nightingale, so happy to behold her. The winds may blow, the moorcocks crow, the moon shine out so clearly. Ah, but deeper by far is my love for my own lady. Now there's some people say she is very low in station, and there's more people say she'll be the cause of my ruination. But let them all say what they will, to her I'll prove constant still, till the day that I die. She'll be my own lovely lady. That's two songs that I sing with my kids and with the lads in the miniatures. Thought I'd have a go with it. Haven't seen my kids now since Christmas. So, due to lockdown. A half a dozen tourists stood outside a Limerick bar. They thought they'd like to take a trip by Irish jaunting car. They jumped up on the side seats and they started down the street. But they never saw the character up in the driver's seat. The Jarvey was a leprechaun and had some magic power. He toured them through the Emerald Isle at 1,000 miles an hour. A phantom horse was in the shafts, and no one was surprised. For the Jarvey was a leprechaun, and he had them hypnotized. He showed them Connemara on the way to Ireland's Eye. They heard him say that Galway Bay was frozen in July. He had them kiss the Blarney Stone on Ballybunion strand, and a football team from Donegal was McNamara's band. Yes, the Jarvey was a leprechaun and really took them round. They went through Tipperary town at twice the speed of sound. He told them it was Mullingar when passing by Clonmel. For the Jarvey was a leprechaun and the truth he couldn't tell. He told them it was Cromwell lost the battle of Clontarf. He said the famous Fionn McCool was nothing but a dwarf. He swore the Giant's Causeway had been up in Phoenix Park, and it was in Killarney Lake that Noah built his ark. Yes, the Jarvey was a leprechaun and did the trip so fast. Although the horse had sprouted wings, the pace he couldn't last. He drove up the airy mountains and down the rushy glen. And the Jarvey and his passengers were never seen again. Oh, I wanna go to heaven with Christy Ring, but the Lord won't let no Corkmen in. Oh, I wanna go to heaven with Christy Ring, but the Lord won't let no Corkmen in. Oh, I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. Oh, I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I wanna go to heaven on a horse and car. Lord won't let us get far. Oh, I wanna go to heaven on the horse and car, but the horse and car won't reach that far. Oh, I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. Ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. Oh, I wanna go to heaven on roller skates, but it won't let me past the gates. Oh, I wanna go to heaven on roller skates, but Peter won't let me past the gate. Oh, I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I wanna go to heaven on a Playtex bra, but a Playtex bra won't stretch that far. Oh, I wanna go to heaven with a Playtex bra, with a Playtex bra won't stretch that far. Oh, I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. You get there before I do. Just dig a hole and pull me through. If you get there before I do, just dig a hole and pull me through. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. Ain't gonna be with the Lord no more. I come to the end of things to sing and do. For my friends abroad, my friends here who couldn't get to do anything this year with Patrick's Day, and for my kids. We have a long history in Ireland. People are here for over 9,000 years. So there must have been a hell of a lot of us here over time. So our ancestors are all over the place at this stage. There's a from Lower Gabella, which is the book of the takings of Ireland, the book of conquests, is another term for it. There's an old poem about Amergin landing in Ireland. I believe it was around May. And he has a treaty with the actual Tuatha and the fairy people, the Sidhe, beforehand, that if he pulls his boat back 7 waves, that and comes back in again, that it'll give time for the actual Tuatha to get their forces together and they make a proper fight of it. So when they pull out the 7 waves, out past the 7th wave, the Tuatha and do magic and the sea gets all rough. And Amergin sings this song to calm the sea so his boats can land. Amergin is the leader of the Milesians. The Milesians come from Spain. The Tower of Bregan, Ireland was seeing. I believe it was the actual name of the leader of the actual Milesians who first went into Tuatha and killed him. So there's a kind of a revenge thing going on here. But Amergin sings this poem anyway. I am a wind in the sea. I am a sea wave upon the land. I am the sound of the sea. I am a stag of 7 combats. I am a hawk on a cliff. I am a teardrop of the sun. I am fair. There is no plant fairer than I am a boar for valor. I am a salmon in a pool. I am a lake in a plain. I am the excellence of arts. I am a spear which wages battle with plunder. I am a god who forms subjects for a ruler, who explains the stones of the mountains, who invokes the ages of the moon, where lies the setting of the sun, who bears cattle from the house of Tetra, or the cattle of Tetra who laugh. What man, what god forms weapons? Indeed then, I invoke a satirist, the satirist of wind. And he followed it up when they landed with this: we invoke the land, surging as the mighty sea, mighty is the upland full of meadows. Full of meadows is the rainy wood, rainy is the river, full of waterfalls. Full of waterfalls is the spreading lake, spreading is the spring of multitudes, a spring of people is the assembly. Which gives a kind of a nice picture of Ireland at the time and how beautiful it was, and it still is. Got to keep some of it for the people, though, rather than the actual those who would take it from us. And I hope you enjoyed this. This is Patrick's Day. Tomorrow is actually Patrick's wife's day, which is the Sheila Gig Day, which is a what we call a crude figure of a woman exposing her pudenda, is what is down in the archaeological books. I'm sure you can look it up. So it's a kind of a goddess day to it tomorrow. Now, St. Patrick is known by 2 letters in the 5th century. A letter to Coroticus and his Confessions. It's his Confessions is actually that stops him from becoming a saint as far as the Vatican is concerned. But an Irish saint was a person who actually gave up his life where he had everything, like in his family, his clan, and he stepped outside it, where he didn't have all the protections and all the security and the safety measures that are involved from being in your own clan. Anyone who's lived abroad understands what it's like. Um, it's difficult, but it was much more difficult in that time period. And Christianity had its little safe havens and monasteries where people could travel from A to B and it was safe. There was a set of rules. There was actually a protection of women in there with those rules, but it took away some of the actual strengths of women when they gave it that protection. I mean, he's not Irish, and Britain And Wales and England, Scotland didn't exist back then, in the sense of the way we talk about it now. He could have been from a Roman family. But he's a patrician is actually a term, kind of a leader of a family or a leader, and the Roman setup. And he was taken in raids, probably by one of the O'Neill crowds, because Niall of the Nine Hostages was raiding quite a bit on that side of the world at that time. So he's an interesting character that he prayed a lot by his own description. Um, he admits to have sinned, which, like I said, is the sin that actually stops him from becoming a saint in the other way. But by and large, it's actually the Christian monks and scholars that wrote down all our tales and our history. So we actually do owe them quite a bit for that. But a lot of those were actually the Celtic Church, which is different than the Catholic Church. And they were all separate little churches um, in different tribal tuhas. And each tuha was a kingdom, and there was about 150 of them all fighting with each other at different stages. Well, the ones local to them anyway. Until Brian Boru, you couldn't say that there was a real high king in Ireland. Brian Boru was the first, and he didn't last very long, as he got killed at the Battle of Clontarf. So, Sláinte, Limerick Abu, I guess, Bannacht La Phadraig, Queenie Limna, and Bannacht B.